The Andalusian capital, Seville, is very well known for its culture and history and strong sense of pride and tradition. You can see it while walking down the narrow, windy streets of the city center. Every building and street corner is intricately decorated, and the detail put into the aesthetic of their architecture is a strong display of Spanish and Andalusian pride. Once you walk far into the historic center, through the city's colorful streets, you'll notice something sticks out. The Metrosol Parasol, also known as Las Setas de Sevilla, is believed to be the world's largest wooden structure, made up of 3,500 raw cubic meters of micro-lamented finished pine wood covered with waterproof, breathable, and flexible polyurethane, as described on the official site. The story of Las Setas goes decades beyond its conception, specifically the site that it's built on. Before the large wooden structure was built, it was the Encarnacion Square Market. The plaza was a central location throughout the 19th and 20th centuries, not only for its market, but also as a meeting point in the city. The market consisted of over 400 to 400 stalls of fresh products, making it the biggest supplier of food and produce for Sevillanos. Throughout the 20th century, Sevilla experienced a rapid growth as people from nearby towns and villages started to move to the city for work. Because of this influx of traffic, an expansion of Calle Imagen was undertaken. However, due to structural problems in the produce stalls, the market was demolished in 1973. The Plaza de Encarnacion became an abandoned lot that would have remained fenced off for the next almost 4 decades. This abandonment led to the degradation of the lot of what used to house the largest market in Sevilla. Nearly 4 decades later, in 2004, the city of Seville announced a competition for ideas to revive the abandoned and rotting lot. After 65 proposals were reviewed by an international jury, they selected the Metrosol Parasol, proposed by German architect Jürgen Meyer. The structure aimed to provide a new meeting spot for locals and tourists alike, a new attraction, a new market, and also some shade for the open space that would be essential during the hot summers here. The new project, however, did not come without its controversies. First things off, the ultimate cost of the project ended up being over 100 million euros. That is over double the amount of the originally intended budget of 50 million. Second, the modern architecture of the mushrooms, many locals have complained, just doesn't mesh well with the rest of the cityscape, which is very historic and artistic. Thirdly, because of the wood and polyurethane and potential of high temperatures in the city, especially in the summer season, people have voiced their worries about the expense of maintaining the structure. I wanted to get a local perspective myself, so I called up my friend Maria to meet up and talk over café con leche and some churros.
So I am Maria Amoros, and I am a local. I'm from Sevilla, and I was not born here. I was born in Madrid, but I just lived there for like a month. When I was like younger and alive, Las Setas were not here. This was just like ruins, because it used to be a market in the past, like one of like the main markets of Sevilla. But then, like, I think it was in the 1970s something, like it got destructed, and you could still see part of it, but it was not very like a point where like tourists would come. It was just like an empty plaza, and that's it. I feel it's not, in my personal opinion, having so many touristic things is not that good, because we end up, like the locals end up being left behind, and we feel a little bit like forgotten from our like town hall and everything, because it looks like they are only focusing their efforts and their money and investing only in tourism, and they never really ask people here, do you agree with this construction? Like there was not a voting thing. It was just they open up for other, like for artists and architectures to like design an idea to build here. I think they took a guy from Berlin to build it. I'm not sure. I don't know how I feel about it, because I study art and the Faculty of Arts is right here, like not even a minute away from the place where Las Setas is built, and I feel that they could have maybe asked the university to ask their students about ideas, and not picking up an idea from someone from Germany that doesn't know literally like anything about here. Also, I feel like when you build something in a city, you need to know the context and to know what's going on. And building this here you can tell the person who designed it, you can tell he's not a local because it doesn't have anything to do with the city. It's true that people right now appreciate it, and at the beginning everyone was very like mad, but at the same time excited because you could get to the top and watch the whole city. And during the night with the lights and stuff, people were like excited that that was here, but it's controversial.
So several times during my interviews, I was interrupted and distracted by tourists like these, so I decided to go to Los Setas and see it for myself. So we're about to go to Las Setas and buy a ticket and go to the top, so come along with me. So I made it to the top. My entry was 12 euros, and unfortunately I could not get the free ticket because I'm not a local civilian, but first thing that really caught my eye was just the amount of tourists that were flooding the top area. I mean, the sky was gorgeous, the sunset was pretty as always, and a lot of the roofs to me just looked the same. You couldn't really point out different things from the top in the city, and as you can see here, I'm struggling to get by all these tourists that are just flooding the staircase and the pathway. Just look at all those feet. So it wasn't really a pleasurable experience, but again, the views were not bad, but I have seen better sunsets. And here are the lights. Nothing too impressive. For me personally, I gave Las Setas a 6.5 out of 10, personally. Whether they like it or not, the iconic mushrooms of Sevilla are here to stay and serve as a powerful statement of Sevilla progressing into the 21st century. As an increasingly popular tourist destination, the city government has been pouring more and more money into tourism, which many locals feel like they're being abandoned by their own city. Although a lot of people have already warmed up to the presence of Las Setas in the former Plaza de la Encarnacion, there are still mixed feelings about these out-of-place mushrooms. What the future holds for this monument, only time will tell.